What it do, Soul Fam? Welcome to K&M Witchery or Readings by K&M. That's me. I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe, for those of y'all who may not know, and this is your spiritual check-in designed to give y'all the practical spiritual advice that you need to help you with any clarity, healing, evolution of the spiritual variety, whatever it is that y'all need. I don't know yet. Let me just quickly address the elephant in the room because I know there have been some curiosities. No, I'm not quitting social media. I know that I hadn't really been prioritizing YouTube or really any other form of content for quite some time, and I wanted to thank you so much for your patience and your grace as I allowed myself a really great opportunity to nurture myself a little bit more. I've also dove into some education to get some accreditations and certifications, etc. for you. I had recently become accredited for cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm in for EMDR therapy, how to treat complex PTSD. There's a lot going on in my noggin. So yeah, unfortunately, that meant that something had to take the back seat. But I am now steadily readying to step out of my hermit shell a little bit more. So for those of y'all who have been curious, I'm still here. Hi. I miss you so much. And again, just thank you so much for your patience. Spirituality is more than a fad or even an interest of mine. It is a genuine lifestyle. And when I started off going public with everything so many years ago now, I hadn't realized that I would be asking really pertinent questions towards how I can really help someone from the inside out and guide y'all towards the optimal state that you could possibly achieve with my assistance, of course. Not saying that I could heal everybody, because that's a lot of pressure and also false. But to ask the kind of questions like what gives me the right, you know, to help y'all with some of the really deep shit that you go through. And I had and continue to answer that question by healing myself, because I feel that in order to be the best type of coach or therapist, guide, whatever it is that I am, I'm not a fan of the labels and shit, they're really constricting. It requires me to reach those depths too, because how can I heal you through something that I personally have halted myself in or have never walked those miles in, you know what I mean? So that's just what I've been doing, okay? Just bettering myself for you, and of course for me, because it starts off as a selfish reason and then I pay it forward. But anyways, I just want to thank you. I'm gonna continue on because now cards are on the table and we're ready to go. The first card that came out was the Page of Cups, and I keep hearing reverse, okay? Although it never came out in reverse, so it's really interesting. There might be, to whom this concerns, of the Soul Fam, energy pulling in. By the way, I have the Hierophant and the Tower card out here too, okay? But this Page of Cups and this illusion of it being in reverse could have like this really interesting mental play on yourself. There could be so much doubt in vulnerability or inability in general, where you might feel as though what it is that you are hoping for, desiring for, wanting, you're halting yourself, right? Like there's this Tower card alongside the Hierophant, meaning that and that's really annoying. My AC, ignore it. It's hard for me too. Interruptions. I hate when that happens. Anyways, we're just gonna keep going. There's an aspect of yourself, Soul Fam, that's likely coming up and clouding your ability to see the wisdom that you already hold. Whatever venture you're hoping to move into or accomplish, you have this desirable outcome that, hearing in reverse, you have like this opposing voice or feeling or sensation in general could perhaps maybe be memories of past failures and things like that coming up. However it is that you're perceiving this personally, because there's a bunch of y'all. That's allowing a crumbling to take place. Like, what's coming up that opposes and creates an obstacle between where you're at now and where it is that you really want to be is coming up in order for you to release it. So there's a version of yourself, finding it. There's a version of yourself that essentially is unable to go along the ride with you. You know, it doesn't mean that you fully have to kill off this aspect of yourself, but there is an aspect of yourself that requires a little bit more love and convincing of their safety and their abilities. Because that version of you that had once been manifested and created, co-created, if you will, between your circumstances and your powerful unconscious mind, it kept you safe from pursuing something, someone, whatever it may be for y'all, okay? The Three of Wands came out here like it could literally be anything. Keep in mind, this is still a YouTube video, okay? Precise, concise, canonwitchery.com. Y'all already know where to find me. That aspect of yourself, the one that carried that added doubt or shame, perhaps maybe some sort of like condition that had you bypass so much of an opportunity due to like sabotage and things like that. I'm doing my best to keep this as generalized and yet specific as I could, so give me a thumbs up if this is resonating with y'all so far, but that's the part that's coming up right now for you to lay to rest, okay? Oftentimes, and here's where that Tower card kind of comes in, when we're on the brink of change, right? When we denote what we would like to transmute or grow out of, we almost kind of like convince ourselves that the past or whatever it is that we want to move away from is evil or it's bad or it's heartbreaking or something. It's like we want to attach more of a negative connotation to almost like better convince ourselves to move forward, because how can we move forward from something that we're grateful for? You know, but two truths can exist simultaneously. You can still be really, albeit proud and grateful, and express that gratitude towards something that has faded out or has ended or whatever it may be for you personally. You know, like something, someone has come to an end. You can still appreciate the times that you had and move forward into a brighter, happier, healthier, whatever future for yourself without you like creating this anchor of anger or like depression. You know, like you can't have both. You can't have gratitude from where it is that you had been and look forward to a future where it is that you want to be. I think what it comes down to is accepting that you yourself have graduated from this version of you that became complacent or comfortable or just simply found love and life in an aspect that you have now become more consciously aware that you have outgrown. So you convince yourself that these new feelings, because it's a page, right? So pages are more immature, right? They're new to something, and cups are all about those emotions. There's something intuitive coming up right now. There's something coming up that you are then quickly convincing yourself that you're unable to overcome, or you're really zoning in and focusing on obstacles that are at play. But again, I remind y'all, you already have all of the wisdom that you have actively acquired in order to now be able to drop everything. When the Tower card comes out, people freak the fuck out. Why? The Tower card has easily become one of my favorite cards. Not only because there's like lightning and I really like storms personally, duh, if you can't tell already from like all of my intros, but this allows you to remodel your life. Tower cards sometimes could be really good. They could be planned, you know? Like when you allow things to crumble, you can more quickly put things into their new place and redecorate a little bit more, you know? I don't know. I'm a Uranus first house person, so change and instability, if you will, unforeseen circumstances, even as a psychic, are something that I'm used to, and I that doesn't mean that I don't understand the challenges that come with it, right? What I am saying is that allowing yourself the ability to be human and feel through whatever it is that you got to go through, like acknowledge the shame that's coming up, acknowledge the guilt that's coming up, acknowledge the doubt, acknowledge it, like feel it, you know, because oftentimes when these aspects of ourselves come up, they're so uncomfortable and we immediately bypass the opportunity to actually feel and confront, release these aspects of ourselves, these thoughts, these emotions, whatever it may be, by completely neglecting their existence. Like, no, pish posh, I shouldn't really even be thinking about this. Or, oh, I'm going to immediately start meditating so I can just switch my perspective into a more positive one. Like, no, remember that so much of healing comes down to feeling. So sit with it. Sit with it. Like identify where it is that you're feeling it in your body. Breathe into it. Cry if you must. Scream if you must. Like have yourself a tantrum, okay? Shit. Like do these things, because neglecting yourself and ignoring that aspect of yourself is just what's going to keep you contained. And it's only going to become louder and louder and have you fall into a true Page of Cups in reverse where you don't move forward, you don't. And you already see the future ahead of you, Soul Fam. You already see it, you have an idea, you've already chosen, and yet you're still staying still. Why am I saying you've already chosen? Notice his hand, it's already gripping one of the wands. And he's looking out into the distance going like there, that's where I wanna go. And you can see all of the obstacles because you're at a high enough place. You got the wisdom in order to see it. And yet you're still convincing yourself because it's new, because it poses a bit of a challenge, because it requires something different from you. Perhaps maybe more, perhaps less. And where I'm saying is less is like sometimes we are required to set particular boundaries where we actually take a step back instead of constantly chasing and moving forward. You know, sometimes we have to learn how to stay still. If there's anything that I have been humbly priding myself on is introducing more of a slower lifestyle to allow rest when I need it, guilt-free, shame-free, to really step into my divine feminine energy. Okay, and this is beyond like twin flames and shit. I'm talking about like the actual embodiment of trust in the universe and in self and in building that. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us, true. There is an opportunity to pursue, and there's also an opportunity to just kick back and chill, to attract, to be, to just exist. However it is that this resonates for you, do the thing that you know intuitively is going to bring you to where it is that you really want to be, despite the discomfort and what needs to fall off and be temporarily uncomfortable, in order for you to then get past all of that discomfort and then start building on those blocks nice and slow, you know, with grace, with a new perspective, with a new way of being. So like, it's essentially an ego death, you know? We could be as spiritual woo-woo about this, or we could be as psychological and like neuro-linguistic about this all as we want. Like, at the end of the day, however it is that, if you're still here, that this is resonating with you, Soul Fam, push through the discomfort. Just sit in it for a hot second. Acknowledge it, okay? Because you ignoring it, or you pushing it aside, or you just neglecting it by saying like, oh, never mind, we're just gonna be happy, okay? Like toxic positivity, and even if it's unintentional, okay, like it really causes more chaos. This stuff will continue to come up unless you sit with it and allow that part of yourself to be seen, especially just by yourself. Because how often have you been hurt when you reached out for help from others and you were stonewalled? Well, to do it to yourself is in fact the thing that needs to drop off, okay? Because it's an illusion. You have everything, like you're ready. So whatever it is that your intuition, this little fishy in a cup, is telling you, okay, move forward into it. You already know what it is that you gotta do. If you require guidance, let me know. Reach out to me, okay? KNMWitchery.com. I also have a Patreon too, by the way, which if there is going to be an extended, there's going to be a little sneak peek after this, and then a link down below in the description if you want to hang out, okay, and get a part 2 of all of this, but alongside any other collective messages and such, how to like survive the week and all that. I give y'all some insight of what to expect, how to acclimate. So yeah, all that is found on Patreon. The 8 of Wands wanted to come out, the 6 of Swords, and Temperance. So there's a lot of moving away energy, a lot of change energy, a lot of really quick, rapid movement as soon as you decide, as soon as you let go. Like, yo, you mustn't, 2 of Swords, you mustn't negate the power behind expression. Ooh, you got the Devil card under here too with the Moon. Ooh. I did hear Cancer new moon. Now this is intended to be more of a, what's the word? Timeless reading. But whenever it is that the moon was in Cancer last, okay, that highlighted something for you. Whether it was a new moon, I don't care what phase it was. Cancer, moon, okay? Happens once a month at least. So look back into that time frame. Or perhaps maybe look into the future and be like, aha, maybe something's gonna come up then, okay? Because there's something about a Cancer moon energy that's going to allow for some clarity and or some release. And usually they go hand in hand. Once you allow a release of emotion, what's left is understanding. Sometimes we're not able to cognitively get to a specific point of clarity or direction or whatever it is that we're seeking at that moment until we actually make room for it, because that belief, that understanding is unattainable until we remove the obstacle that is currently lodged somewhere in your unconscious mind, likely with some sort of an emotion that needs to be released, and it's a really uncomfortable one, and it's coming up right now time and time again because you are safe to release it. Like, the more that you allow yourself to understand that, to integrate that, to convince yourself that you are safe now to release, you will be able to do exactly that. And manifestations are going to come really quickly too. I'm filming this in 2024, something that I've mentioned a gazillion times before. That's maybe too much, but you get my point. Why am I being so literal? Who cares? The self-judgment is real sometimes. 2024 is a karmic year. Numerologically, it adds up to the number 8. 8, yes, is abundance and good luck and money and all of that, but it's also a number that signifies Saturn and karma. What's karma? A repeated pattern that will continue to come up and circulate throughout your life until it is met with changed behavior and you break that pattern. You are the cycle change. It starts with you. Welcome to KNM Witchery, where we take accountability for our personal fucking evolution. I know, it's exhausting. Trust me, I know. And it's possible. And as soon as we allow more of those motions, things come quicker. There's communication all of a sudden comes up. Opportunities open up. Change happens really quickly. When I made the decision to move from Alberta to Europe, where I presently am, That was a really heart-wrenching decision for me personally, just because I love Alberta. Will I return one day? Yeah, I'd love to. Right now, it's just not in the books for me. I'd have to go where my spirit leads me, and right now it's here. And the point is once I full decided, because I was like in two places at once, like thinking about it and then like unsure, I was doubting it, and then I was like in regret or like thinking about potentials of future remorse, etc., right? Like the whole motions of it. But as soon as I decided, and I gave myself a nice big fat cry on the top of a mountain, this was at Lake Louise, brings me back. 8 days later, I moved. Eight days later. I packed up all of my shit. I was able to cancel my rental agreement, book the flights, book the movers to go cross country, like everything in a week's time, plus a certification for hypnotherapy. It was a crazy time. I barely even had the time and opportunity to feel through shit, you know? And then I did, and then I had like a really cute duck moment, like a literal duck, like sat next to me as I was like having myself like a little emo moment finally, because I was so like the entire time fragmenting aspects of myself, and I finally allowed myself to like say goodbye to Calgary, where I used to live, and this cute duck just approached me, and like it was just the cutest thing. Oh my God. I have it somewhere on my Instagram story if you ever want to look for it, but nevertheless, it's opportunities for change have to come with acknowledging parts of us that are painful. And it's okay. It's okay to be sad about something. It's okay to acknowledge how happy you once were, and that there's something different, something more. And sometimes that something more means going back to step one, you know? Like I said, I'll go back to Alberta one day. Does that mean that if I go back to Alberta now, all of my experiences in Europe were worthless? Of course not. That would be silly. You know, it's not taking 3 steps back. It's taking fucking 100 steps forward and circling back, coming back with new modalities and experiences and wisdom, new confidence, new understandings. So that's what's happening. So I don't know what y'all got going on in your personal lives, but you're really moving away from one thing towards another, and it is very divinely guided. Every single time Temperance comes out, this is my symbol of some sort of guardian angel or God, guide, whatever it is that you resonate with, okay? Even if you don't resonate with any of that, okay? And it's just like this pull, like this unknown knowing. If you get it, you get it. It's guided. It's required right now. And the only thing stopping you is you. Because you're in 2 places at once, you know? If you are in disbelief, then you're sending out very confusing signals to not even just universe and like manifestation, okay? If we're not going to like follow that hoopla type of language, respectfully, of course, I live in it all the time. But like, you stand in your own way. You confuse your own steps forward, you know? So how can you create the future that you are hoping for by literally just saying no and bypassing it, but then pitying yourself for it and feeling guilty for it and shaming yourself for it even more? Like, that's only going to repeat the cycle and actually make it worse and worse and worse. And by the way, the opposite of depression is expression. Take it from someone with reverse sad. I have summertime sadness. And this is a year that I have really dove into self-care and knowledge and therapy, and obviously getting different types of certifications. So like, it's been cracking me open like crazy, and it's possible to heal is what I'm saying. Am I healed? No. Is it going to be a really long process? Yes. And I can still acknowledge where it is that I've come from to where it is that I am now, right? So can you. I'm just giving you my own vulnerabilities on a silver platter, so you hopefully have something to relate to and know that it's possible, because it is. It is, okay? I'm going to pull from the Modern Nirvana Oracle for y'all. See what else we got. We have boat and we have resistance. Titanic just came to mind right in the beginning scene where Leonardo and friend, win the poker card game, whatever it is that they're playing, and they're like, we're going to America. And then the bartender is like, no, Titanic is going to America in 5 minutes. You're not going to go if you don't make it, type of a thing. And then they run for it. Like, there seems to be an upcoming opportunity to those whom it may apply and resonate with, where you're going to be given an opportunity where it's do or stay. Okay? And you got to think fast and you have to be certain. Obviously, using Titanic maybe now looking back is like not the greatest thing because they all died. But like, hey, you get the point, right? Like, there's going to be an opportunity for you to win an opening. And yes, opportunities will come around again, but some of them don't in the way that we maybe hope and desire them to, right? So take the opportunities, take the quote unquote risks, and choose to let go of the resistance, okay? Because like boat is really, it's giving me the 6 of Swords energy, okay? And again, 2 truths can exist simultaneously. Like I've been in Europe for years now and I still look back and like I miss Alberta so much. There's nowhere in the world that hit me the way that there are certain places in that province that have for me. And I'm still open to what life has. And it's been great so far. It really has. It's different. It's challenging in its own ways. It's healing. It's inspiring. It's something that you can have too. Regardless of your circumstances and the obstacles, like you can do it all. I know it sounds cliche. It's possible. I don't know. Like, you either believe or you don't, you know? And that's a personal choice. That's a personal choice. I don't know. I heard my snaps. So what we're gonna do now is move into an extended VIPs. We're gonna pull some more cards for y'all, get you some more advice, okay? Something down to the itty gritty that will help y'all move forward any types of resistance. Perhaps some people identify a little bit more of what that is and allow you to, I don't know, gauge the types of advice and like woo-saw kind of vibes to help release any of that tension and move forward. And then anything else that comes up, because I don't know, I just work here, so let's just keep pulling. If y'all are interested, stay tuned for the sneak peek that is following these messages in just a few short seconds. And yeah, click the link down below. That will take you to VIP. I'll see you there. Otherwise, I hope to see y'all in another video. If you did resonate, just let me know with the thumbs up. It really lets me know, okay? Comment down below because I love hearing from y'all, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Join the tribe, and you'll be seeing me really soon. So again, Soul Fam, thank you so much for your patience and your time and your energy. It's a pleasure to read for y'all, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. I am really getting close to this resistance card here, so you know what? Let's ask that question. What's the resistance? What do I need to help identify for the Soul Fam? We have the 7 of Pentacles, and it came out in reverse. So, oh no, never mind. It didn't come out in reverse. My deck was in reverse, so it came out upright. Interesting. Okay. This is giving very similar energy to the Page of Cups that was seemingly in reverse before, right? So the 7 of Pentacles, let's talk about it. A lot of hard work that has been put into this change, this desire, this thing that you're putting together, this hope for the future, this wanted outcome, okay? And it seems as though you might very well be kind of burning yourself out or setting a more difficult type of expectation on yourself that is, it's overworking your mind, body, and or soul. I think y'all have been thinking too much. Overlooking different types of solutions based on overly focusing on obstacles, on the doubts, on the fears, right? Great. So let's stop trying to fix everything. When we're at this point, Soul Fam, where our logical mind can no longer compute and we can't find certain pieces together, perhaps it's because you're overcompensating as opposed to actually feeling, meaning like you're overcompensating the mental body and ignoring the thing that actually just needs to be felt. Some aspect of you is lodged, it's stuck, it's crying out, I'm scared. And all you're doing is meeting that fear or that anxiety, that depression, that anger with solutions. And how many times have we been there before, Soul Fam, where we are pouring our heart out to somebody and they go, just be happy. Or, I don't know why you're mad, you could just do this and problem is solved. Okay, cool, perhaps that is true. Must that negate and invalidate my feelings though? You know what I'm saying? So why are you doing that to yourself? Like, we know how annoying it is. And it's true, perhaps maybe you are very logically sound, okay, right? Like you're very clear cognizant, you're more perhaps maybe detached from emotions, so they're a lot more difficult to reach, and you can still feel them though. I don't know, y'all gotta book some hypnotherapy with me or some shit so I can help you out.